couldn't help it. Okay, so I want to start by letting you know this is a new class. The actual name of the class was phone prospecting, right? So this is a new class. I've not taught it before. I'm not 100% all in on it. I'm all about making phone calls, but I'm not all about right? And I'm not going to stay 100% on it, but I do still find it a very important conversation. And here's why. Well, let's start with, everybody has seen this before, and if you haven't, that's fine. I'm going to pass it around, or you can have one. I have extras. I developed this graphic a few years ago because I just kind of wanted to get the point across about how important this sales pipeline is and how it works and where are the areas for opportunity and where are the dangers, right? So the way the sales pipeline works is, here's the funnel into which your leads come in, right? Fish jump out of the pond and jump into your funnel, and they come from friends, family, your sphere, Zillow, open houses, Facebook, all your social media advertising, all kinds of areas where FSBOs, expireds, farming, etc. All these fish that you're fishing for, and you pull them into the pipe, right? They took the bait, right? And you then do a transaction with them. And if you give them poor service during the transaction, or you treat them just like a transaction, then after the transaction's over, they just fall out of the pipe and go back into the pond. And you have to reel them back in some way, or somebody else gets them. If you give them good service and create a relationship with that great service, then after the transaction, they stay in the pipe. But if you don't keep in touch with them, keeping in touch throughout, then they just kind of fall out of the pipe over time, right? They fall out because they loved you and you had a great relationship, but they haven't heard from you since, and years go by and they just fall out and they're back in the pond and available to someone else. If you keep in great touch with them, keep that relationship intact, then they stay in the pipe, and the next time they're ready to buy, they just swim right back around. And little by little, you keep putting them in and you keep them in, and the pipe becomes full and you get to shut off the funnel, right? You don't need to suck them in anymore. They're in there and they're all swimming around, and actually they're sucking people in, right? They're bringing people into the pipeline. Hey, you should use Becca. She's awesome. Oh, call my agent Juan. He's awesome. So not only are the fish not falling out, they're sucking other fish in, and the funnel becomes unnecessary. Okay. So when we are working on getting fish into the funnel, we're prospecting, right? And there's all kinds of lead sources. This is another document that I will share with you. This is literally a long list of where leads could come from. Past customers and clients, friends and family, sign calls, floor calls, paid internet leads, free internet leads, social media, local service clubs, open houses, expireds, boom, 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 right? All kinds of places that your leads could come from and come into this funnel, okay? When we do business planning, you're encouraged to pick 3 main sources of leads, with your sphere of influence being one of them. Okay, so some of you chose my network, open houses, farming, right? One, my network, rental owners, renters,
and home buyers presentations.
Home buyer presentations, right? 3 main lead sources. And then a plan was put in place of how I'm going to get leads from those sources, right? So with my sphere of influence, I'm going to contact them in these ways. Okay. The reason we're having today's class is because calling people is always part of that plan. And it's the thing we all hate to do. I literally had an agent say to me, I've been doing this, I've been doing this, I've been doing this. I'm just being honest with myself. I'm not making the calls and I'm not going to. Right? So phone prospecting is the thing we find hard to do. And we need to ask ourselves why, and we need to look at why, and we need to be more comfortable with phone prospecting so that we don't say, I'm just being honest with myself, I'm not going to make the calls. Okay. The last thing I want to share before we actually get into the material is the Work by Referral book by Brian Buffini, right? Remember this, actually, I don't know if Dave is on right now. How many participants do we have? 3. I bet Dave is on. Dave is on. Dave and I were talking the other day about, okay, a whole bunch of crap's going on over here. So make a minimum commitment for work, right? Make a minimum commitment. I'm going to work 2 hours. And in those 2 hours, I'm going to do all these things. And then I'm going to go take care of all the shit that's hitting the fan somewhere else, right? Focus. And what do you know? Brian Buffini's winning formula, how to win the day. Write 3 personal notes, make 5 check-in calls, add 1 person to your database, win 2 hours, and you win the day. Win 2 hours and you win the day. Right? Okay. So good news. It only takes 2 hours to win the day. Now, that's nothing about showings and, but as far as prospecting, win 2 hours and you win the day. But what is number 2 on that list? Make 5 check-in calls, right? It's always about the calls. There's nobody you're going to read, no class you're going to attend, nothing about prospecting that's not going to include phone calls. So as you can see, this phone prospecting boot camp, Bree, I just explained to everybody, this isn't a new class for me. It is a 3-part class. We're going to cover part 1 this time around, right? It's our first time around. We're going to cover the first part. We're going to see how we all do. And then the next time around, we're going to get deeper. Okay. So in the handout, really, it starts with your mindset, right? I am on page, actually, let's go ahead and start on page 4, right? So I'd like you to read page 4 to yourselves, underline something that sticks out to you, and then we will share. And that does not work very well for those of you on, so never mind. I'm going to read it out loud really quickly. Thoughts rule the world for the simple reason that thoughts determine feelings and actions. We can think ourselves into happiness or deep depression. We can think ourselves into health or illness. We can think ourselves into peace of mind or a raging fury. We can think ourselves into a narrow, limited world characterized by procrastination and paralysis, or we can think ourselves into a noble, creative life and the actions that give it shape and substance. Only take care of our thoughts, our feelings and actions will take care of themselves. Just want to remind you, the first chapter in the next book we're starting is Thoughts Are Things. Yeah. For better or worse, we give to others the fruits of our own thinking. By the same token, we are influenced by the thinking of those with whom we associate. It certainly helps to make friends with people who've made friends with their own minds. Observe people who are chronically bored or depressed, and you'll invariably find that they dwell on negative thoughts. Observe people who are consistently happy, creative, and productive, and you'll find remarkable similarities in the quality of their thinking. By our thinking, we create our individual and collective experience of reality. Changing our thinking for the better improves the quality of our own lives, and in so doing, uplifts all around us. This says source unknown. I'm telling you, this is Think and Grow Rich. I bet you, some of this I feel like is word for word from Think. What did you say, Bree?
I said so true.
So true. Okay. What sticks out to anybody that you feel like you need to reinforce in your own mind right now?
You're thinking, how you see things where you make things out to be in your own mind, whether it's going to be a good thing or a bad thing, like you control it, and then it'll be for you.
Yeah. It's like we talk about giving news to clients. If you present it as bad news, it will come off as bad news. If you present it as the news, it will come off as the news. Yes.
Mhm.
What were you gonna say, Lisa?
Changing our thinking for the better. I
Mhm.
think, I love about working with Talia is, and I've always thought she's just a positive influence. Like,
Mhm.
how could you be down working in an environment? So it's very uplifting, you know, even though I had a couple right off the bat shutdowns, I'm like, she's like, you're just sticking in there and keep going. I mean, you have to, because life can get us so down, you
Mhm.
know, and I just think if we try to be positive and uplifting, good things will come.
Amen. And really, the story doesn't change. Your, your thinking of the story is the only thing that can change. Yeah. Becca, Bree, anything?
I just, when you were talking, I was just saying, I was thinking when you read that is, it's important to keep your own in check, but also like, know that how you're thinking, like when it comes to prospects or clients or anyone is going off on people. And so like, if you're a negative person, you're gonna bring other people down around you
Mm-hmm.
and attract more negative situations or
Right.
clients who keep backing out and this and that, because your mindset is down here. Where if you
Mhm.
bring it up, you're gonna attract people who, in situations that work out.
Amen. I found that when I sold that I just, to me, when there was a problem, it wasn't, oh, the deal's dead. It was, ooh, okay, let's figure it out. I would have agents call me and their first sentence was, well, the deal's dead. Why do you say that? Well, my buyer, blah, blah, blah. Okay, the deal's not dead. I'll let my seller know your buyer wants that. Let's see what, but they'd start with the deal's dead. It's like, well, guess what? Yeah, if that's what you start with, that's might be where we're going. Good news is I'm not starting with that. So let's, and how many times have you gone to bed sure a dead deal was dead and in the morning it was still alive?
Mhm.
It's happened, all of us, right? Becca?
Just kind of bouncing off of that, just reading, we observe people who are chronically bored and depressed, and you will inevitably find that they will dwell on negative thoughts. And I mean, we all have people in our lives that we can think of that are the Debbie Downers, and
Right.
you don't want to be around them. And I think it's the same for clients, and they don't want to be around that, and they won't.
Exactly.
So,
And when you have a client that you hate and you're all worried, like they're gonna talk bad about me. Who cares?
Right.
Guess who they're gonna talk bad about you to?
other
Their
people
other
do.
dumpy friends, right? Like, or their nice friends who are gonna be like, oh, really? Uh-huh. And in their head thinking, oh, you weren't happy? Big shock. You're never happy with anyone. Big surprise. I'm not gonna take your recommendation because you don't like anyone, right? You can't worry about that. I thought I heard someone say something. Dave, did you say something? No. Okay. All right. So moving on, part of this whole, I don't want to make calls is our mindset, right? We're picturing the call being uncomfortable. We're picturing us not knowing what to say. We're picturing the people being mad that we called. We're picturing ourselves wasting their time. And that's what you're going to get. So the first thing we need to do is get our mindset straight, right? And know where their mindset is, right? So if you see at the bottom of page 5, the seller's mindset, right? Understanding the seller's mindset can go a long way in preparing for a prospecting conversation. Being prepared is the key, right? So a seller who's not looking to sell, they only want to know what the value of their property is, right? They relate that perspective to what has sold, is currently for sale, and agents who have sold in their neighborhood, okay? Sellers' mindset who are looking to sell are more curious about what their property is worth, how long it will take to sell, the cost to sell it, what you as the agent are going to do to sell it. This group of sellers is most likely open to hearing about what you have to offer, okay? Sellers not looking to sell are still interested in information, but they just want information. Sellers who might be looking to sell also want more. What can you do for me? How does this look? What does this cost? Expireds. Those sellers still want to sell their property and it should have sold, but they're not sure why it didn't, right? This group have high frustration levels, right? They their property didn't sell as expected, and maybe a lot of real estate agents are calling them at all times of the day. Now, this is if you're doing expireds, right? This is different than an expired that called you. Remember, your goal is to get from the phone to the house so they can determine whether you're not the best fit. So remember that if you are talking to a seller on the phone, the goal isn't to sell them on the phone. The goal is to get a meeting. And we've talked about this before, right? For sale by owners want to sell, but at this point, they find themselves more motivated in saving money by not paying an agent commission, right? I will tell you, most for sale by owners don't, there are some for sale by owners who've done this before and know what they're doing and don't feel a need for you. Most for sale by owners just don't want to pay for you, right? They just, that is their motivation. It isn't, I've done this 50 times, I should have a license, I got this. Usually it's, I don't want to pay you, right? Okay. This group of sellers doesn't understand your value, right? That what you bring to the home sale, and some education might be required, and the chances of a meeting are higher if the home has been for sale by owner for an extended period of time, right? The longer they're for sale by owner, the more open they might be to hearing what you have to say. And then if you're calling somebody because you're farming meaning I'm farming a geographic area, right? They're more likely to, most likely to know why you're calling and determine if they find you reputable, right? Once they feel comfortable, they likely will want to help making a connection. This group might not be ready to sell right now, but they could either be a future client or a solid referral source. So don't underestimate this group of people who aren't necessarily selling right now. Remember, you as the agent want to be the first on the mind of this prospect, because even people that you call and don't lead to a meeting might give your name out. Okay, so let's take action, right? In order to create a life of abundance, you must train your mind to think in unlimited terms. So what are your limited beliefs when it comes to phone prospecting? Why don't you phone prospect more? Why don't you call people more?
Because you're afraid of rejection.
Afraid of rejection. So the limited belief would be that people will reject me. Okay, good. Why else?
I am super awkward.
Okay,
I'm kind of an awkward person anyways. When I'm on the phone,
You learned that.
oh, I am.
I will be awkward.
Yes.
Okay,
You don't know what to say.
I don't know what to say.
I have this thing right now that I keep asking about. I feel like I don't want to come off pushy.
Yeah, that
or
I-
salesman.
phony
Yeah.
salesman, I hate that.
I don't
keep
want
bringing that up.
to be phony or pushy.
You know what helps though, is because I'm super awkward too, Becca, is when I'm just super awkward. And I'm like, I'm sorry, I'm a little nervous, or like just
Yeah.
be blunt, and they're like, oh,
I have to do that. I'm like, I'm sorry, I'm so awkward
I'm
on the
super
phone.
strange, so
Okay.
just ignore that.
Great. No, I'm going to take that and jump. We're going to get a fifth one, but I'm going to jump really quick because the next thing is rewrite those as unlimited beliefs. So instead of, I don't want to be phony or pushy, I will be authentic and honest.
Mhm.
Right? Right? And that's what you said. Instead, I just say, okay, I'm feeling so awkward. I'm just calling to say, right? I will be authentic and honest. Not pushy and awkward, right? Authentic and, or salesy. Okay. Why else don't we call? Anything else? If there's nothing else, that's fine. But why else don't we pick up the phone and call?
I think for me, I tend to not like confrontation. So I feel like if I call somebody, they're gonna be a jerk to me and super rude to me. I just don't want to deal with it.
I will get confrontation.
Let's ask a question. Like,
Yeah.
I don't know.
So I would kind of relate, I will get confrontation to people will reject me. And I would relate, I won't know the answers to questions to, I don't know, I won't know what to say. Okay, so let's rewrite these, right? Let's rewrite these to being positive statements or unlimited beliefs, right? So people will reject me or I will get confrontation. How could we rewrite that to, I have one idea. Go ahead.
you could say something like, I am knowledgeable and confident in my work or something, that way if conflict arises. I don't know, something like that.
I wonder if it should be, I will remove my emotions from from the results. I won't care what
Yeah.
the results are, right? I,
I'm proud of how I do business.
well,
proud of-
or
I'm proud that I made the dang phone call.
Yeah,
whether or not it
yeah.
Ended up.
I
good or
will,
not.
I will divorce, I will divorce myself from the outcome. If someone's, okay, thanks, bye, don't care,
Yeah.
right? I won't internalize the outcome,
Mhm.
right?
I'll
Okay.
take it personal,
Right.
yeah.
I won't take the call personally. I don't, right? If we're gonna make these unlimited beliefs, I don't take the call personally.
Technically, your mind doesn't. You can't
Right.
put don't in it. Mine will. You have to reword that.
Oh,
Just a side note.
oh,
Your
because
mind-
it's a negative.
Yeah.
I,
I will not.
You
I
can't,
would-
you can't say not.
You can't say not.
Say a lot too.
okay, then any result is a positive result,
Yes.
right? Okay. So any result. And the reason you can say that is even a rejection is an opportunity to learn,
Mhm.
right? So any result is a positive result. Okay. Okay. I will be awkward. We already talked about that. I'll be authentic and awesome and awesome.
And awesome.
Okay. And
Yeah,
awesome.
yeah.
And awesome. Let's say it awesome. Okay. I won't know what to say.
I think that goes back to the page that we did before, preparedness is key.
Thank you.
Mhm.
First of all, I will know what to say,
Mhm.
right? I'll make sure I know what to say. I'll practice. I'll be prepared. So I will know what to say. And let's make this the next one. I will trust in my knowledge. Right? I sell real estate. I'll have your answers. And if I don't, I'll say, that's a great question. Let me get back to you on that. Right? I will just,
And be
I will
confident
trust
with that
myself.
response too,
Right.
yeah,
because I find myself saying, you know what, I don't know. And I just do this and when I went,
yeah.
that's a good question, I don't know, but I'll get back to you and.
Yeah.
And that was
Amen.
that, yeah.
And you're not
And-
a liar. You know,
Yeah.
of course.
Yeah.
Because then they see
Yeah.
that, all right, you're not BSing me.
Yeah,
You
right.
don't know, you're not just, you know,
That always makes me nervous too, when people start to BS and like, because there's so many things around, oh, I mean, you can't say certain things, right? Or
Mhm.
you could get in like major troubles.
Oh.
It's always better to just be like, I'm not sure.
Yeah,
Let me
no, absolutely.
get back to you.
Yeah.
I've been
Oh,
saying
huh.
like, well, this isn't my, I don't have the listing, so any questions you have, I'll write them down and I'll get your answers because I don't know. You
Yeah.
know, I'm trying not to say, well, I don't know,
Yeah.
and look crazy stupid.
So I had a really embarrassing situation
But
once.
it's right.
When I was brand new in the market, this guy said to me, he asked me about rates. Well, first of all, I'm not a lender. Right then and there, I should have just said, they change every day. I'd have to look. But he asked me about a 20% conventional versus, and I said something stupid like, well, I just closed an FHA loan and it was this much. So, it's going to be roughly around that. And he said a 20% conventional would be less than an FHA. And he's right. But I was brand new. I just,
Right.
the minute he said, I thought, oh yeah, good point. I mean, I just look like an idiot, right? So I should have said, let me check. You know what I mean? But obviously I still remember that. You also have to just be like, oops,
Yeah.
and move on, right? You've just got to learn and move on. And I saw that same guy, 2 years later and, laughed about like, well, you want to know what the rates are? Because I know a little bit more, what are you going to do?
Yeah.
Right. So you've got to be okay too with not knowing. But the lesson, you also have to say, okay, what should I have done? Right.
Mhm.
And the lesson was, let me check. I haven't seen the rates today and they change all the time. Let me check, right? Phew, that would have been way better than to try to guess and then be like, yeah, you dummy. Yeah, okay, all right.
I
So,
always start by saying, like if I'm at a showing, we walk in, I'm like, hey, look around, ask me any question that you want. If I can answer it, I will. If not, then I'll just find the answer for you. That way
Mhm.
they know that
That's awesome.
Setting the
you're not gonna know
expectation.
everything.
and thank you, setting up an expectation.
Mhm.
God, that is, I mean, try to think of like, what's the one thing agents should know? And there's not one, but man, setting up expectations is on the top of the list. Problems arise when there are unmet expectations, so set the expectations so that they're met. Yeah, yeah, okay, all right. So if you were getting ready to make calls and you read this to yourself first, I'll be authentic and awesome and honest. Any result is a positive result. I will know what to say and I will trust my knowledge. Do you feel like you'd be more prepared to make calls? Because your mindset, right? Okay, point made. Yes, okay. All right, so what is the dual purpose of the call, right? Number one, your goal is to add value. Okay, the dual purpose of the call is to move sellers from the phone to a meeting. Now, notice we're talking about sellers because typically you don't prospect for buyers. Buyers call, right? Typically, when you're prospecting, what you're looking for is listings, right? You don't, I mean, you do say, do you know anybody looking to buy or sell? But what you're really looking, do you know anybody looking to sell? So it's not about presenting over the phone. It's about opening the door to a meeting, right? So you should be willing to be called because you truly believe that you have the capability to add value. That, guys, does take confidence and happens over time, but just ask any agent who's been in the business a while if we, in our very limited way, I mean, we teach, do this, this, and this for all listing appointments. And it seems like the baseline here, but it is above and beyond everyone else. And I when you said that about she said it was overpriced and the agent went and dropped the price and he said, and I said, yes, but I'm not surprised to hear that at all. I heard it all the time, right? We really are better. I mean, you just have to believe that I really can add value. Part of the reason we don't call is we don't believe we can add value, right? You have to believe that, right? And you owe if you can add value, then don't you owe it to people to let them know, right? Okay, so you can't control what buyers or sellers ultimately say or do. You cannot control this phone call. Any outcome is positive, right? Right. So top listing agents get mad. They get mentally tough, absolutely committed. This is the wording I was trying to think of. Detached from the outcome, right? That's the word. I was detached, right? I can't know what the outcome is, so I'm not going to worry about what the outcome is. If they say yes, they say yes, they say no. Any result is a good result. Okay, right? Most agents who prospect 5 or more hours a week on average make significantly higher annualized gross commission income. This is just a fact for you. So who to call? And this is where I wanted to make sure everybody understands. A phone prospecting class is not about calling strangers. If you've decided to do farming as one of your prospecting, then you are going to be calling strangers. Most of the time, we're just talking about calling your past clients, for God's sakes, right? When this agent said to me the other day, I'm not making the calls, I'm just going to be honest with you, she meant to her sphere of her friends, her family, her past clients, right? Right? Okay, so start with past clients. If you're not calling your past clients once a year, they need to hear you or see your face once a year. And if you're not doing it, you need to start with that. And the goal is to deepen the relationship and to add value, right? That relational capacity the relational capacity that this creates is a comfort level. So they invite you to do business with the 200 to 250 other people they know. Right? I asked you to come up with a list of how many people who would wish you well in real estate. 250. And then you want their 250 people, right? And there are 250 people. Look at the potential there just by asking, right? Asking them the simple question of all the people you know, who do you think will be moving next? And would you be willing to give them my name? Done, right? Does that scare you? It only scares us because we haven't kept in touch. And now we feel like I gave you nothing and I'm going to ask for something. That's why it scares us. Because I gave you nothing for 2 years now, and I'm going to call you out of the blue. And I'm going to ask you for something, right? That's why it scares us. Because we didn't keep in touch.
So you're calling past clients to ask them for referrals, not to say hi.
Well, if
Well,
you'd have been,
start with the high.
it should, right?
No, like,
Give
Yeah.
your clients, give your
like.
friends.
just
Yeah,
make
but I mean, like-
No, you're calling them to stay in touch. And had you been doing that, you'd have no problem at the end of the conversation saying, oh, hey, before I let you go, you know anybody looking to move anytime soon? I'd love for you to give me my name. That's how my business grows. Oh, girl, you know I will. You ask me that every time. I know, because that's my job, right? It's so comfortable. Picture yourself with your best friend, right? Having a drink. Like, how's it going? Right? How's it going? It's going great. It's been a little bit slow. I mean, the fact of the matter is I need people to give out my name. You'd say that to your friend without a problem because you're friends. You have no problem saying what I really need is people to give out my name. I need to talk to somebody who needs to, and you'd say to your friend, do you know anyone? Right? Okay. Because there's a relationship there. So yes, the call initially, right? The call is to keep in touch. Hey, how's it going? Why are you calling me? Because I haven't, and that's on me. I mean, if you just be authentic, right? Why are you calling me? Because I haven't, and I should, because I consider me your agent and you my client, and I should keep in touch. So I'm calling to keep in touch. How's it going? Anything I can help with? Okay. And you,
Any improvements to
catch-
the house?
yeah. How's it going? Do you love the house? Do you, any surprises? What have you done? And then if they say, actually, we just put on a whole new, oh my gosh, can I see it? Have me over sometime. Let me come see it. I'd love to see what you did, or at least send me some pictures, right? It is to keep in touch. But then it's also, oh, hey, don't forget, right? Especially if they say anything praiseful to you, right? Like, that's so nice of you to call. Thank you. Honestly, I'm just doing my job. What I want to keep in touch with you because frankly, I want you to give my name out. When you know somebody who's that's just the truth, right? Wouldn't it be so much easier? You know why I'm calling you? Because I'm a business whore and I need more work. And what would they do? Most of your clients laugh. They'd laugh. I'm a business whore and I'm calling you to see if you know anybody looking to buy or sell because that's how my business grows is on referrals. Oh my God. Okay, actually, yes, I do. Or no, I don't know anybody, but okay, thank you. I will tell. I mean,
That's the best
really,
way
if
to
you
do that.
just
Yeah. write
said,
them down.
I
if
can't
you
make that.
literally
I
just said
can't
the
make that.
truth.
You can.
No, not to say, not just a straight out like, this is the real. I would call and if I haven't talked to you for a long time, hey Becca, how's it going? Just want to check up on you, see how you're doing. How's it going with the house, blah, blah, blah. And I would probably like end it there. And then maybe next week I'll call you again and then talk
And
more
then
about
do
the
your
house and then like, hey, do you have anyone that you can send my way? Because I don't think I can. do it.
Here's the thing though, if you kept in better contact with them, and I'm not accusing you, I think you are doing a
think I
good
do.
job, yes, exactly. So when I say if you, I mean the universal you. If you kept in better contact with them, they'd be expecting the call, right? They'd know that you're number one, checking up, number two, seeing if they've got it, it's just, this is my job. This is my job, right? We are not in the job of selling houses. By the time a
What's
listing,
your mouse?
huh?
You have some-
Oh, sorry. By the time a client, somebody's chatting?
I don't know what this is.
Oh, and what's that? Oh, there's chatting.
Just feel
I
like.
bet Dave's chatting. No, go back down and hit that again. And show chat.
all the way.
Or yeah, just click on
Mhm.
chat.
Oh,
Yeah, there you
one
go.
more up.
Oh, Dave's participating. Or
Sorry,
is that
Dave.
Dave? When I make the phone calls, I try to focus on just catching up, seeing how they're doing. Oops,
Okay.
confidence is the key. Oh my, Dave, you are totally participating. Outlook and mindset of abundance comp. When life gets complicated, yes. When you do keep good contact with them and then follow up with a phone call, it comes off as pushy. Wait. When you do keep in good contact with them and then follow up with a phone call, it comes off as pushy. Try to focus on just catching up and seeing how they're doing. And then towards the end, there we go. If they know anybody, there you go. Honesty and confidence is key. If I don't know the answer, I'll tell them I know. Dave, you have been keeping up all along. I know I've kept in touch when I ask my clients and they say, yeah, we know. There we go. Okay, good. All right, so he is absolutely participating. Okay, I don't want to be a dead horse. I just want to remind you, there's a reason for this. This is how your building business grows. This is how this pipeline gets full and stays full, is them sucking people up in for you and them giving you people to put in the pipeline. So you don't have to take floor calls, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera.
I just
Okay,
feel like people know me and I'm not a phone person, even like. I'm like, you're pregnant, great, I'm gonna send you a letter and I'm gonna send you a baby outfit in the mail. And I'm this, and that's like, that's what I do, that's what I do
Great.
to my people.
great.
Not just like on Facebook, I send them crap in the mail, like, if
Mhm.
I were to call and be like, congrats, they'd be like, why are you call? Cause even during transactions, unless they want me to, I don't usually call, it's just, I don't usually do that. More of a not a caller. I need to work on it.
Okay.
I understand that.
I understand a generational thing, right? I do. I don't find you to be a massive texter with me. There are agents that I'm like, girl, if you send me one
Yeah,
more
I'm not a
text and
massive
don't just,
texter.
you're not. And Bree, I feel like when you need something, you call me.
Yeah, I do,
Okay.
but maybe that's you, cause I know, I don't know, maybe I'm just confused.
So keeping in touch with them, like after, like in the year time, can it be a drop a note in the mail also and a call?
It can, but I want to retell a story that these guys have heard. I bought insurance from a guy named Dan. Dan Haas, you probably know him. And Dan sent me a birthday card every year. Da-da-da-da, Dan, da-da-da-da, Dan, da-da-da-da, Dan. Never called me, never saw me, never anything. And one year I got that card and thought, fuck you, Dan. You didn't even send this. Your receptionist did. Okay. So yes, but no,
Okay.
there has to be a personal touch. Sending them a gift is definitely a
Yeah.
personal touch, right? But I've got to argue, Bree, where is the open communication if all they ever get is pushed communication, right?
Yeah.
Then they may also not call you,
Right,
right?
cause I do, like, to your point, I love you, but I don't call you, say, hey, Lisa, how are you? I only call you like, hey, I need to talk about something. real
Yeah.
quick," and that's just, I feel like I'm imposing on people.
Well, okay, so I will agree with you. I'm not great about that.
Yeah.
I am terrible about, hey, how's your mom doing?
Yeah,
I am
I see
terrible
you,
about
though.
that.
I'm really good.
I
person.
know you'll tell me how your mom's doing, so I'm not gonna ask you
Yeah.
every time. Matter of fact, it kind of bugs me. How's Freddie? How's Freddie?
Mhm.
Oh my God, right?
Oh, that's
It's fine. Thank you. So I get it. You have to be who you are. But the fact of the matter is you are a business person, right? Part of your job is to bring in business.
Mhm.
And just like a florist shop has to figure out how to get more people in the door, just like Kellogg's has to figure out how to get more people to buy their snacks, whatever, you have to figure out how. And there's two ways to do it. You can go find new people all the time through expensive advertising, or you can ask your current sphere, could you please send me business? And it's not right to ask that in a non-personal way over and over and over again.
Mhm.
There's got to be a personal touch to it, right? Okay,
Mhm.
now face-to-face is even better, right? So if you have a chance to see one of your past clients. That's even better. Hey, how are you? And you wouldn't see them in the groceries. Oh, I would. And I have to really fight that urge. Shit, I'm just trying to get my groceries done. I hope they don't see me. Right? No, you would say, hey,
Oh, that's up to you.
yes, yes, yes. No, I feel that way, but I don't do that. I make a point to say, hey, how are you? I mean, it's even better, of course, but there has to be a personal voice or face touch, or you're just that guy sending the card,
Right.
you know, even the gift
Mhm.
is at some point. I used to send birthday cards to my clients' kids, the ones that I was really close to. But if I don't see that kid and they're 15 now and they keep
Right.
getting a weird card from a random stranger, right? Yeah. At some point, it's a weird card from a random stranger.
Right.
Okay. And that's how I felt about it.
I sent a birthday.
I bet you
card.
didn't even sign this. I bet your receptionist did. Yeah,
I sent a birthday card with a coffee card.
there you go. But again, even that year after year after year
Right.
after year is like, I get it.
Mhm.
I don't know you. You don't know me. You want my business. So
Mhm.
you send me a coffee card.
But
right?
yeah, like for me, it's not just that. I even go to their houses and. Hey, how's it going?
Reaper.
I was in the neighborhood and,
No,
Yeah.
you do not.
yeah. Because they're my clients.
Why?
Why not?
What if your lawyer comes? Still divorced? Like, hey, Carl, great to see you.
No, no, because it's not just that one contact that I'm
Good for
I'm
you.
sending them a birthday card and I'm sending them like a
Okay,
St.
but
Patrick's Day.
let's put it in perspective. If I got a divorce with a lawyer
Yeah.
and my lawyer called me later and said, still divorced, how's it
Yeah.
going? That would be weird.
Well,
If my lawyer called me,
Way worse.
if my lawyer called me and said, hey, I hope you're doing okay. Just want to remind you, now it's time to start thinking about a trust or a will. Now it's
That's the
time.
next step.
I would appreciate that.
If you showed up at your door.
Well, no, but an attorney's not gonna show up your door. Yeah, yeah. They don't do that. But
Being
No,
said,
good for
text
you.
worked well for me personally.
you can see your messages recording on.
Oh, that's something else. This is the next one up.
Oh, I'm sorry. Thank you. Text. Okay, Dave, I understand text work. Okay. My biggest problem with text is when it should have been a conversation. That drives me crazy. Yes,
Yeah.
if that text
Right.
takes more than one screen,
Yeah.
then we should be
Me.
talking.
Yeah.
When I get 4 or 5 screens worth of text from you, come on, we
Yeah.
could be done with this by now. I don't want to type that much.
Yeah.
I don't want to talk to text that much. Just call me and get this
Mm-hmm.
over with,
Yeah.
right? Okay, all right. Don't forget video texts,
Mhm.
right? Don't forget, right? I'm not quite to the point of being, and I send a quick video, hey,
Mhm.
how are ya? Just hope you're doing well. It's a face, it's a voice, right? Okay. All right. Okay. Have we hit that? Okay. Other people to call, right? People around it just listed. Wait, I think I skipped some. Sorry. So past clients, your network, friends, family, those people, hopefully you're seeing, right? And again, but remembering to ask them, right? Of all the people you know, who do you think will be moving next? Right? Would you be willing to give out my name? Okay. Just sold. Houses around it just sold. Now, I understand finding phone numbers is not always easy. I will tell you, you're not absolutely 100% not supposed to use forewarned with this for this. Forewarned tells you if they find out you've been doing this, they will cut you off. But if you pay $20 a month to have forewarned, which is the app which will give you information about people so that you can make sure you're not shown.
Is that what it's called?
Yes, showing up to a house with a
Yeah.
convicted criminal who just got out of prison last week, you can use forewarned and it does give you contact information, but you're not supposed to do that. But that is one way. Reddit is a service. I've not Reddit. It's just like Reddit, but it's not Reddit. There are services you can pay for that will give you people's numbers, right? But just sold, right? Calling around, it just sold and saying, what is the easy message there? I did it for them. Do you want me to do it for you? I mean, is that so bad? Is that so hard? Is that so horrible to call somebody and say, hey, it's, I don't know if you noticed, but the house down the street did sell and we were able to sell their house and it goes to say that there was a buyer looking and there's probably more and just, I'm not doing my job if I don't call you and say, are you interested too? How hard is that call? Right? You don't ever call me again. Okay,
Delete.
okay.
Don't take it personal.
Yeah.
Detach yourself from the outcome. Right? Okay, right? Just listed. Hi, this is, why is that a bad call to make? The thing is, guys, if you're happy with the level of business you're doing, you must keep in touch with your network. And then this class is over. If you want more business and you're not willing to do the things to get more business, I can't help you, right? Okay, so don't call just listed and for sale by owners and just sold and expired if you have enough clients. If you don't have enough clients, then I don't know how else to, right? And I will tell you, these people are getting mail from more agents, right? Okay, yes. So sending them mail is not going to set you apart. Speaking to them face to face is, right? First of all, it shows that you're professional. Second of all, it shows you have more kahunas than they do, right? You're harder working, right? It lets them create a connection to you where the rest of them are just random people. You are now not a random person, right? So just listed for sale by owners. Let's talk about this. Just listed is similar to just sold, right? They'll see that one of their neighbors trusted you enough to list or sell their property, right? If you don't have any recent listings, use one of the, ask somebody, hey, I noticed you just listed that house on X. Do you mind if I call the people around it? No, sure, I don't care. Or, damn it, I should have done that. Wait till somebody asks you if they can call around your just listed and you're going to be like, you can only say no if you were going to do it yourself. Okay, so for sale by owners, right? They already own a home. They do want to sell it. I'm sorry, I'm on page 10. They want to save money by doing it themselves, right? In supporting the sale of the home by themselves, there is a chance they'd want to buy their next home sooner or later, right? With you. This group is all about follow-up. Just letting you know, the key with for sale by owners is you completely support them and they realize what they don't know because you're supporting them, right? So I keep a list of buyers. Actually, there is a script in here, and they say, I had a buyer ask me about it. I had a buyer ask me about your for sale by owner, and I wondered if you're willing to work with an agent, if I could just come preview it. If I could just come preview for a buyer, right? If you don't have a buyer, don't lie that, if you don't have a buyer, say, I keep a list of everything on the market for my buyers. I notice your property is on the market as a for sale by owner. Could I come and preview it for my buyers so that I can have it on my list, right? Asking them, if I brought you a buyer, would you be willing to pay a commission for the buyer side? 90% of for sale by owners understand they do still have to pay a buyer agent fee, or probably will need to be willing to pay a buyer agent fee. So, ask them. No, I'm not going to pay. Okay, great. If I could bring you an offer that had that in it, would you then be willing to, right? Maybe you can get an offer, they don't know what they're saying no to until they know what they're saying no to. Then as you're there, you ask them the things that right? Oh, terrific. Do you have a seller's disclosure and a lead-based paint I could have and keep as part of my, what do you mean? Right now, some know, and yep, here it is, right? Do you have a listing sheet? What do you mean? Right? Do you have a list, a piece of paper showing how many bedrooms, how many baths, how many square feet? But you ask them the things that you would have done if they were, do you have a complete listing sheet that I can hold on to and show buyers if they're, do you have lead-based paint and seller's disclosure? Every time they say, what's that? You're adding value. You just told them something they didn't know, right? Well, it's would you like me to get you a copy? Now, you can give them a blank lead-based paint and seller's disclosure because those are public forms. Those are not realtor-owned forms. You may not give them a purchase agreement, or those are realtor forms they're not for us to share with the public, right? But lead-based paint, seller's disclosure, those are state and federal forms. They can get them online. How many showings have you had, right? Are all the buyers that call you pre-qualified? What's that mean? Oh, pre-qualified means, right? Do you require a proof of funds or a pre-approval letter in order? What do you mean, right? You're showing them what they're not getting, right? And then you follow up with them. It's all about, how's it going? It's been a couple of weeks. Just wondered if you've had an offer and have you had more showings? What kind of feedback are you getting? What do you mean? Well, as a realtor, when we have a system set up where we get feedback and find out why, right? You're just constantly showing. And then at some point, you follow up with them every couple of weeks. How's it going? Have you had a showing? Have you had an offer? What's the feedback? Then finally they say, do you just want to list this? Well, weird. Actually, yes, I do. Right? Yeah, right. I don't know. I'll have to come and meet with you and we'll have to look at market data and see if it makes sense. Wouldn't that surprise them?
That's all such good. You just do that all. That's so good.
Well, thank you.
Yes.
Expireds. The biggest warning about expireds is you constantly have to check and make sure they haven't relisted, right? You cannot solicit someone else's listing, but approximately 90% of expired listings still have a desire to sell their property, right? They were lied to, sold a bill of goods, right? And look at this timeline at the bottom of the sheet. This is the typical journey of an expired listing. In the first week, they have lots of showing activity. Their agents totally in flow with them and everyone's excited, right? In the first month, showings start slowing down. The agent's still keeping in touch, but they're starting to feel a little rejected, right? At the end of 3 months, there's no showings anymore, right? Like that ship has sailed. The agent's not keeping in touch with them anymore because they don't know what to say to him anymore. And they feel depressed. And by the end of 6 months, there's no showings, there's no contact, and they're pissed, right? So yes, sometimes you call expireds and they're mad and you get right in bed with them, right? I get it. I get that you're mad because basically what happened is somebody said, this is going to be awesome. And it was horrible. I get it. You deserved something different. What do you mean? Well, first of all, let me come and sit down with you. Let's talk about how I would have worked with you. And if it's different, and if it feels like you're going to get different results, at least you'll know what you should have gotten. How about I come over? Right?
I will say, to that point, I had one that was on, they signed a contract for a year. Yeah, and so it was 205,000, I think. When I took it, I was like, we're gonna list it 249. They ended up getting 249. But then he had the audacity to argue with me about my commission. And that's when I talked to you and you were like, ask him how much the year-long listing, and it was, I think it was like 5% or something. And I was like, this is why I'm worth that money, because I'll get it sold and you'll sit for a year. So that's a good thing to add to that.
Absolutely. I gotta tell you, you want to be a superhero, you sell an expired listing. Because you proved you can do something the others couldn't. You've proven it. Now, the referrals you get off of it sold expireds are the best. Call Lisa. She'll get it done when other people couldn't. So, and I understand there's not as much expireds out there nowadays, but they are great to get. Okay, farming, right? Once again, if you've successfully farmed a neighborhood, so you don't just call for farming. Farming is a very many-tiered approach. You send out information, you send out market data, you hopefully list in the area and they see your signs, and then you also call and right. So let's see. Phone prospecting is an effective method of converting those leads, right? The introduction should be more seamless because the prospect should already recognize you, right? You've already been farming that area. You've already sent out mailers. You've already, ran an open house or had a listing or whatever. They should already recognize your name, right? Right. And then the conversation is, have you been receiving my monthly postcards, right? Do you have any questions? Do you find the information helpful? Is there anything I can help you with? Do you know have you ever thought about selling your home? Do you know of any of your neighbors that might be thinking about selling? Okay. All right. So let's take action. Let's force you. How are we doing on time? I don't have my watch on.
10:57.
Oh my God, great. Actually, this is perfect. Let's take action. Identify and list below 10 people from your personal contact list that you will begin phone prospecting for new business, that you will call. You.
Come on, Bree,
Was
we
it
can
that
do
out
it.
My bad.
You will call, you will catch up. And at some point you'll say something like, right, do you know anybody who might be moving soon? Would you be willing to give them my name? 10 people.
Like right now.
Sure. That's how we're gonna
I'm gonna
use
open
our,
my contact list.
that's how we're gonna use our last 3 minutes.
Wow. What you not gonna do?
I will.
What's this?
You said I forgot this lady's name. I said once you go knock on her door.
I forgot this lady's name.
Not at all.
Okay, I see that pretty much all of you are on 7 or 8, and I do not want you to not get to 10, but I also want to keep moving forward. So I just want to do a couple of things before we quit. I want to point out page 25 before the call session, right? Create positive energy, stand up, move your body, smile, right? Get ready. Do not just pick up the phone and call somebody. Be ready, right? Recite positive affirmation. Tell yourself, why am I doing this? Picture a successful call. Practice a little bit what you're going to say, right? Now, no, like, here's what I'm going to talk to her about. Here's what I'm going to say, okay? Prepare for the call. Be upbeat and energetic. Do not, yes, part of it is just force your hand to the phone, right? But get yourself pumped up, right? I'm gonna have fun with this. I'm gonna have fun with this. I'm gonna make myself do this. I'm gonna have fun with this, right? Okay, so Bree, you are a client that I closed with a year ago. I've sent you stuff, but we have not talked for a year, and I am calling you out of the blue, right?
Okay.
You don't expect my call. I'm calling you out of the blue, right? Answer your phone.
Hello.
Hey, Bree, it's Lisa Dameron. How are you?
I'm good. How are you?
Good. You sound a little surprised that I'm calling. Is it an okay time to talk? Do you have a minute?
Sure.
Okay, great. So I'm calling you completely out of the blue. Yes, right? Like, you're surprised to hear from me. I can tell it.
Yes.
Yes. Okay.
How have you been?
I'm good. I'm good. That's actually one of the reasons I'm calling you. I'm just calling to check up. It's been a year. I'm curious how you're doing. How you doing?
Doing great.
Great. The house good? Everything good?
House is wonderful. We love it.
Awesome. I'm so glad to hear that. Anything I can help with, anything you need, any surprises, anything that I could help with? Is there?
Nothing I can think of.
Okay, terrific. If there ever is, please call me, let me know. It's important to me. It wasn't just a sale that day. It's the rest of your time in this house. If there's something I can help with, please consider me a resource.
Of course.
Okay, great. And I'm just going to be honest with you. One of my job duties, one of the things that's important to me is that I love working with people I love working with, and usually their friends are like them. So it's important to me to work with people like you because I loved working with you. So I'm not doing my job if I don't say to you, if you ever know somebody that you love, don't send me people you don't like because I don't want to work with them. But if you know somebody you love that might be looking to buy or sell, would you be willing to give them my name?
Yes.
Awesome. That's terrific. Okay. This isn't just about that though. I really want you to know I care about you. I was calling to see how you're doing.
Okay.
Okay,
I
good.
mean, bye. I care about you.
Okay, so
Thanks for the call.
promise me if you need me, you'll give me a call.
Of course.
Okay, terrific.
So it's
I
gonna
like
happen
how
when
you
I
bring
call
it-
you on the phone
Yeah.
today.
Yeah.
Yes.
Between the two of us, it's gonna be so great.
Yeah.
Shoot, squirrel, a bird poop, oh my god.
Now, I'm
Yeah,
gonna
you
hang
bring it
up and
back
be like,
around.
that was a little awkward, right? That,
Angry for me.
no, I wouldn't, no.
Or I'm gonna go with him.
Yeah,
Oh, there you go.
No, I mean, honestly, I wouldn't feel that way. What I would note to self, Bree thinks it's weird that I called her, right? I'm gonna write that down and next time I'm gonna be
Yeah.
like, hey, Bree, guess what this is? This is that weird, awkward phone call. I'm gonna call you once a year. Are you ready? Like, I'm gonna go with
Make it
it,
more weird
right?
for her.
Yeah.
The biggest
Yeah.
thing though is that like pushy feeling, how it's like, okay, did you just call me because you wanted to get to that end paragraph where it's like, if you know anybody, but
Mhm.
you kind of like brought it back, like, hey, that's not what this is about. I do care about you.
Yeah,
So
I do. Promise me you'll call me if you
Yep.
need something.
Mhm.
Yeah, but I'm not doing my job if I also don't say, please give my name out.
Mhm.
Okay?
You can even throw in some like helpful home tip like that, like, hey, don't forget to replace your filter to your furnace.
So that's the other
Just
thing.
something that you can add a value to at that.
That's the other thing, right? That could be another way of calling. It could be, hey, I wonder if you can help me with something. What I find is that one of the things my clients love about me is that if they need a plumber, I've got the name of a plumber. If they need an electrician, I've got the name of an electrician. So first of all, if I'm going to give out names, I'd rather give out names of my customers and clients. So if you're a customer and client that owns a business, I want to know because I want to give your name out. Or if you have a favorite contractor, if you would share that with me, then again, I want to give out the names right. And so now I haven't even said, how are you? I've said, can you help me with that? Right. And Bree says, yeah, no, but I could use the name of a plumber. Do you have one? I better have one. Right.
Mhm.
Hold on, let me get my list. Yellow Pages. I don't know. You know, yeah. Kirk's Plumbing. Okay, but still, be prepared. But then at the end, say, okay, terrific. Obviously, I want people to give out my name, so I'm going to return it by giving out theirs. So, I'd be happy to give out those names. Would you be willing to give out mine? Sure, right? It could be all just about that, right? But you need to know before you call, what am I going to talk about, right? You can't control the whole conversation, but you do need to be prepared to talk. Yeah. Okay. All right. Doesn't hurt with somebody like Bree that acted like this is a little weird to say, okay, Bree, I'm just going to warn you. It's going to happen about once a year. So if you absolutely do not want me to call you once a year, let me know. It's going to break my heart because it's so important to me to keep in touch with you, but I want to do what you want to do. Otherwise, if I have your permission, I'm going to be calling you about once a year and just seeing how you're doing and reminding you that I'm here and that I care about you.